In the remote village of Alamar, there was an ancient staircase carved into a towering cliff. It was called the 1,000 Steps, and legends claimed that anyone who reached the top would find the wisdom to change their destiny. Yet no one dared attempt the climb, for the steps were steep, the winds fierce, and many believed the journey was impossible. Esha, a young woman in the village, had always felt trapped by her circumstances. Her family struggled with poverty, and the weight of hopelessness hung heavy over their lives. One evening, as the sun set behind the cliff, Esha gazed at the staircase and made a decision. "I will climb the 1,000 steps," she announced to her family. Her mother looked at her with worry. "No one has ever returned from the climb. Why risk your life for a legend?" Esha replied with quiet determination, "Because if I do nothing, our lives will never change." The next morning, with a small bag of food and water, Esha began her ascent. The first 100 steps were easy, but as she climbed higher, the winds howled and the steps grew narrower. Doubt crept into her mind, yet she pressed on, driven by the hope of a better future. At the 500th step, she encountered a man descending. His face was weathered, and his eyes carried the weight of defeat. "Turn back," he warned. "The path only gets harder, and there's nothing waiting at the top but disappointment." But Esha shook her head. "Even if there's nothing, I must see it for myself." The higher she climbed, the more grueling the journey became. Her legs ached, her hands were blistered, and the air grew thinner. At the 900th step, she stumbled and nearly fell, clutching onto the edge for dear life. For a moment, she considered giving up. Then she remembered her family's faces, their dreams dimmed by despair. With a deep breath, she pushed herself up and continued. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, she reached the 1,000th step. To her surprise, there was no grand treasure or mystical revelation, just an expansive view of the world below. But as she stood there, something shifted within her. She saw her village, small but full of potential, and beyond it, endless possibilities. She realized the climb had not been about reaching the top, but about discovering her own strength, resilience, and the power of belief. When Esha returned to the village, she carried herself differently. Her determination inspired others to face their own challenges, and together, they began to transform their lives. Morale: the true reward lies not in reaching the destination, but in the journey itself and the strength it awakens within us.